Legends, welcome back to the channel. John here on a pretty murky, horrible, cold old morning here in Lincolnshire. However, I am braving the cold and the damp on this Sunday morning because I've got the sniff of a Proton. Yes, we're Proton hunting this morning. I have been told that somewhere along this track is a Proton. Effectively, one of the banger boys fished it out of a garage where it had been sleeping for about 10 years, a couple of years ago now, and they've contacted me because, before you all start going, oh, banger racing, they say it's too good to race, which is good. The fact that they're thinking, even though it's a cheap and cheerful car, that it needs to be preserved. They've reached out to me as the Proton man to come and have a look at the car. In this video then, I'm going to try and find the Proton. We'll have a look around it, and hey, maybe by the end of it I will have a new car, and if not, then maybe if you want a Proton I can point you in the right direction. Let's go find it. Well, I've had a short 5-minute walk down this farm track and look what I can see. Yeah, there is a Proton down here. Excellent. And actually it looks like it's been sleeping down the side of this this unit for a few years. It's an M-Reg. So what's that, 94? It's an Aeroback, which is very rarely seen on the channel. My initial reaction is this. Proton found. Yeah, let's take a look. So actually, considering it's been in a barn for, what, 10 years and then tucked away down the side of this unit, apart from looking a bit green down the side of things and having a little bit of, I don't know, debris and dirt growing up around it, she looks okay. And hopefully the banger boys are going to tell me that, well, it's driven out of there to where we've seen it today. Let's take a look around. So here it is then, a 1.5 SL. You can tell that not only by the tri-spoke wheel trims, but by the fact, well, it says SL on the wing here. Quite late in the Proton range of the Iswaras, being an M, finishing in P, but in fact I've never seen an M-Reg, so this is actually the first M-Reg I have seen in the flesh. And my initial reaction is, well, it's a shame it's got a sunroof, and it's a shame it's an Aeroback, but it looks really good, apart from needing a good scrub. Where are we going to start? Well, let's start at the bit we can see, because these, as you know, tend to suffer with rust and rot all up in these arches. And apart from a bit of surface rust there and there, which is only surface, I think you could get away with daubing some paint on there. Does not seem to be rotten. I've got to be careful because there's all brambles here, but that's nice and solid. Even the tyres look good, to be honest with you. They could even be the originals. I need to have a look at that. These trims in really good condition, quite rare, to be honest with you. But look, apart from needing a bit of a clean, it's nice and solid. Let's have a look at this back bumper. As you know, if you watch the channel, Aerobacks are not my bag. Hang on a minute. It's a local car. It's a Boston car. If you watch the channel, you know that I'm based in Boston in Lincolnshire. And it is a local car, come from S. Coupland Co. Limited, which is now a Suzuki garage. It's now part of Drayton Motors. There it is then from the back, and you can see the difference really between the Aerobacks and the saloon. I'm not a massive fan of the Aerobacks, and this is partly one of the reasons. Actually, it's letting this car down, isn't it? This surface rust here. I don't want to poke too much here, but there is a little bit of surface rust around this rear window. But look at this badge and this sticker, Proton triple valve MPI catalyst. I actually replicate these, so if you want one of these for your Proton, let me know in the comments down below. 1.5 SL MPI, multi-point injection. Oh, this is nice actually. It really is in relatively good condition considering it's been sat here for a while. One thing I can see, it's clearly got some sort of oil leak. Oh, there's a Proton inspector looking at me there through the through the gate. There is some sort of oil leak, but I must admit I'm not too bothered about that. How do I get round to the near side? Because, well, it's quite brambly. Let's go around this side. We'll look at the front in a minute, but I want to just check out the wheel arch and the sills this side. Right, I'm gonna have to stomp round here into the briar patch. But it looks good. It looks great, actually. Oh, I should have put some boots on for this. I can't see any rust or rot around this wheel arch. Maybe a little bit of surface, but the fuel filler cap is looking good. Around this back window is looking good. And actually, checking out the roof, yeah, that's all right, isn't it? There's a little bit of surface rust around the top of this door. What can we see? Oh, falling over in the brambles. Ow. Yeah, a little bit of surface rust there, isn't there? But nice and solid in there. Looks solid too. Excellent. Bottom of the door is looking nice and straight. And actually, the car, it's really difficult to tell because it's just so dirty, but it looks nice and straight. Ow. I suppose the main thing is checking out the front wings now, which they normally go by the wheel arches there, and I can't see any rust or rot there. Usual issue with the front here with the wiper arms, look, all the paint's fell off, but I'm not concerned about that. How is the front windscreen looking? Is that rust or is that, yeah, a little bit of rust around there, just surface. If you treat that, I think you'll be okay. The main issue is the sunroof leaking. It doesn't appear to be. I'll have a look inside in a second. Oh, I'm falling over all that. Well, my overall first impressions outside is a little bit of surface rust, but, well, it's not rotten. And if you look at some of the cars I've bought recently and sent to the Banger Boys, well, they've got holes the size of my fists in. Remember the Hammer of Justice came out a few weeks ago. I don't think we're going to need the Hammer of Justice on this. Let's take a look inside then. I believe... Ah! Well, it's got a battery on it. Hang on a minute. Shush. Take that out. That would be the first thing I remove. That buzzer. A lot of Malaysians watching now will be taken back to 1992. Look at these cells. Apart from being a bit green and a bit grimy, they're all right. Let's take a look at the passenger here. Has it had some repair work there? No, I don't think so. That interior actually is, well, relatively mint, isn't it? Look at it. It's the brown velour. And if you saw my GLS I had, it had the same thing. Why is it that all the old people take away headrests and throw them in the bin? Where have they gone? Where are the headrests? Hashtag headrest, save our headrests. Manual windows, of course, being an SL, thankfully that wasn't something I've just broken. That was me thinking, I'm not going to do that. But it's got the original floor mats in, and actually the rear doesn't look like it's ever been sat in. Could do with a clean up there, but I'm getting a bit excited about this one. Let's get in it then. Let's have a look inside here. Nice to see we've got the original Proton badge on the steering wheel. What's it done? What's it actually done in its life? 38,000 miles. Well, it's barely running, is it? Let me get in. Right, I've squeezed my size 0 into here now then, and we can have a look. Hello. We can have a look in here. Tax disc on there. Oh, it's got the Star Drive card and all sorts of paperwork in there with it. We've got the original Sydney SQR 49 tape deck as well. What's in the glove box? I do love a bit of car archaeology. Well, a few tax discs. Oh, look at that. We've got some original paperwork here. S. Cropley & Co Limited, Proton Larder, and the original owner. We've got a Webasto top slider 2 in here. Shall we see if it opens? Oh, No, it doesn't. And I'm not going to force it at this time. So the sunroof is, well, stuck at the moment. But I'm in the car, it's dry, there's a little bit of evidence of something going on up here and here. A bit of mould on the... but not an issue, is it, that? And actually, replace the headrests, give it a good old dehumidify in here and a clean out, and it's probably going to be a good car. The reason that it's probably dry in here is because that sunroof is actually stuck, which is good news. Great thing to do is feel behind these clamshells. Yeah, there's a bit of water, but nothing major. Let's look under the engine bay. Right, fingers crossed, this opens up. We're going to have the Magma engine under here, hopefully. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, there it is. 12 valve Magma, and yeah, we can see the oil leak under there. But actually under here, looks pretty sound and solid. There's a bit of water and condensation under there, but nothing that I'm majorly concerned about. No rot or rust on this crash bar at the front, and well, I've certainly seen them in worse condition. My white saloon looks worse than this under there. The ECI multi-jet engine there, and you can see you've got the paint code, natural white, and all the gubbins under there. Look at that. I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll get the bonnet prop in place, and then I can get that up and have a look. Nice. I suppose the age-old question really is, will it start? It's been stood, I'm guessing, for a couple of years, like the Banger Boys have said to me. I think it's had a fresh battery on it, which is why it's buzzing before I came. Let's give it a go. Well, that's a good start. Maybe not. Let's give it a bit of loud pedal. I don't want to flood it, but there could be something going on there. So at the moment, she won't start. Looking at it though, I genuinely don't think there's going to be anything far too serious going on with regards to getting it going. Could be naff fuel. We have put some fresh fuel in it. It could be spark plugs. Well, it does seem to have spark. Could be probably a petrol pump, to be honest with you. A fuel pump on this. These have a tendency of potentially going wrong. You should be able to hear it clicking, and I actually haven't heard it clicking. But saying that, I've never had a fueling issue with one of these before. But it's solid. It's a good starter Proton if you're into your starter Protons. And as you know me, I am a Proton whore. Someone says there's a Proton and I'm there. I can hear when they're sniffed out of garages. The thing that lets this one down for me, apart from being not a saloon, which, well, you can do nothing about, is this corrosion round the back window here. But saying that, someone that's quite skilled should probably be able to take this back window out with minimal fuss. The issue you're going to get is not damaging this trim. Repair that quite well and paint it. If you can imagine, you're not going to be painting too much, are you? You're going to be painting this panel here, this bit here, and blending it into the wings. Would you be doing that on a, I don't know, 25, 30-year-old Proton? Well, yeah, actually, probably, because they are becoming fast appreciating classics, and that is partially my fault. That's partially Steph from iDriver Classics' fault, and people realising that, well, these old Proton Sagas and the Iswaras and all that sort of thing, when did you last see one? Well, apart from Mrs. JC when she looks out the window, and sees about 6 of them in her garden. But genuinely, when did you last see a Proton Iswara Aeroback on the road? It pains me, but maybe, just maybe, I don't need any more projects. I need to have a chat with the Banger Boys to see how much money they want, because at the moment, well, it's a non-running Proton Iswara. Saying that, it's in relatively fine fettle. It's a dilemma, isn't it? I know what's going to happen, and that is that I fell in love with it. Look at it. Iswara in white, which will match my saloon in the collection, and it's an aeroback, which I haven't got much experience with on the channel, and some of you might want to see. I'm going to have a conversation with Dad, aren't I? I'm going to have a conversation with Mrs. JC, but for the sake of what? 500, 600, 700 quid? Probably worth adding to the collection, maybe. And if I don't want it, maybe you want yourself a cheap starter classic, modern classic, or to get into the Proton scene. Genuinely, I think that the non-starting issue is probably, looking at it and spending half an hour with it, is probably a fuel pump. Is it a big job? Well, you've got to drop the tank. That's fine. It's an afternoon's work, isn't it? It obviously doesn't have an MOT. It's been stood for a couple of years, but apart from stripping the brakes, giving them a service, making sure the handbrake's okay, I haven't had a good look at the tyres. I actually think it would probably also fly through an MOT. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you reckon? Shall I splash out another 600 quid and grab a fast appreciating aeroback for the John Coupland Cars Proton collection, or should I let someone else have it? Or maybe you fancy a Proton project. Get in contact and I will pass you the details of the owner. Let me know in the comments, like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Maybe, just maybe, our spring summer project will be Proton Saga Iswara Aeroback. Let me know. If you've enjoyed the video, thumbs up please. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps tell the people on YouTube that you enjoy what Dad and I are doing. What do you reckon? Yay for new Proton project, or no, leave it where it is and let someone else enjoy it. Till next time, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. There are so many more Proton related videos on the channel, and I've actually selected a couple that I think you might like here on this page. Give them a click to watch them now. Don't forget to subscribe for more Proton fun and lots more videos coming soon.